Okay, we've been factoring, and there's a kind here where we can do a shortcut on it, and it's any of them that has something squared minus something else squared. Remember, difference means minus, so this has to be a minus, and then it just goes with this formula. So I'm going to show you two here real quick and show you how it works. So if I have something like x squared minus 16, x squared, that's a squared, and 16, this is 4 squared. So this is a difference of squares. It's a difference because it's a minus. So all I do is I take this one and I put this as my first thing on each one of them. See, it's whatever squared, it goes in the first thing. So I have x and x. And then it's always a plus and minus, and it doesn't matter the order. And then the last thing, this was really 4 squared. So that's what I'm going to put in the second spot, a 4 and a 4. Let's do one more. We could have something like 9 a squared minus b squared. And it can have more letters in it like this one. So this one is really 3a squared, because it's 3 squared is 9 and a squared is a squared. And this one is b squared. So that's what I'm going to think in these. A is going to be 3a here and here. And the b is this one here, b and b. And it's a plus and a minus. Now you can do it the other way we've been doing it with the bottom-up method, but this is just a shortcut to help you out. Okay, the real thing we're going to talk about today is all about factoring by grouping. So here's our problem, and you'll notice that this has a cubed in it, and it's got 4 terms in it. That's what makes this different than what we were doing before. So our first step is we're going to use the box method, because this is super easy, and you guys are super good at it. So you make like your box, that's a tic-tac-toe. And then these 4 spots here is where I'm going to put my problem. The problem goes here. And I'm going to put these in the order that they come in. So 2x cubed, 3x squared, minus 8x. Notice the minus goes with the 8x, and minus 12. So these are my things that go in my 4 boxes. Okay, I put those in my 4 boxes. Now it says GCF each row or column. So I go to each one of these and I say, what's my GCF of these? What do these things have in common? Well, they have a 2 in common. And they also have 1x. This one has 3 x's. This one has 1x. So they both have an x in column. These two, what do these have in common? Well, 3 and 12 both have a factor of 3. And this one doesn't have an x, so they don't have any x's in common. Then I go this way. What do these guys have in common? Well, they have an x squared in common. 2 and 3, they don't have any numbers in common, but this has 2 x's and this has 3 x's. Here, these both have a negative, so I'm going to put a negative. And 8 and 12 both have a 4 in common. They don't have an x because this one doesn't have an x. Now, so that's the GCF. And I'm going to kind of put a little thing here showing what we did. We did the GCF for the rows and columns. Now, write your answer, which is, this part is one answer, 2x plus 3. This is one of my answers right here, and this is my other answer right here. These go down there. And my other one is x squared minus 4. And then our last step is check that your x squared part, this one won't factor anymore because it doesn't have any squares, but check that your x squared part with the squared won't factor again. This one here, it's only going to work if it's one of these difference of perfect squares. It's only going to work if it's a difference of perfect squares. It has to be a minus and it has to be perfect squares. This one is perfect squares because 4 is 2 squared. So this one I can factor this part one more time. This would be x and x, and this is 2 and 2, plus and minus, and I'm done with my problem.